Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to a very sunny Edinburgh. The sun is out, it's absolutely beautiful. I'm on a little bit early, so it hasn't actually started yet. This is just the kind of letting everyone join, get to know each other, have a chat, and then we'll have a look around the garden in a little while. But I just wanted to make sure everything was working first. So hopefully, I'm just going to see if I can do this. No, I can't do it. I was trying to extend my gimbal. It has an extension on it, but I can get it working. Hi Anne, I've just come on early because I just wanted to make sure everything was working. So yeah, I've just done a really nice Outlander walking tour with a group. Hi Linda. 6 ladies, I think they were all from Australia. And it was such a laugh. They were just so nice. There's another tour company that I work with quite a lot that we kind of like bounce off each other, which is nice, and I do their walking tour for them, for the Outlander tour, so it's always nice. Get to have a chat with either Emma or Anne, and then get to show people around. But they're going to have fun with this group because they were just so nice. They were so funny. Oh, they gave me, they were Australian, and here's me trying to, behave myself and go on a diet. I know it's the wrong way around or whatever, but they gave me these Tim Tams. Apparently they're really popular in Australia. Once you stop, you can't, once you start eating them, you can't stop. And I'm like, I'm trying to, and I thought, you know what, I don't care. I'm going to try them. It's always nice. Well, that's what I thought, Highlander. I just thought it was such a nice thing for them to do. So the girls will get to try some Australian biscuits as well when they come in from school. But apparently you can, I don't know, she said you can suck your hot chocolate through it or your coffee or something. And I'm like, okay. Yeah, speak to Alex. Right, so it is true, Linda, because I wondered when she was describing it, I'm like, I'm not sure if you do, but I might give that a bash, as long as there's no witnesses. We don't need people to see that. I'm just trying to check the time, but my watch is doing strange things. Once it gets to the hour, can somebody let me know so that I'll start? Because it's such a beautiful day, honestly. It's definitely a thing, right? Okay. I won't video myself doing that because I think that could just get really embarrassing. Oh dear. Yeah, so I've been practicing doing a wee bit on Facebook Live. I did a couple of mini ones earlier just so that I could go home and watch them and see what they're like. Because people have asked for it, so I thought, well, I could maybe give that a bash once, But YouTube, when YouTube works, it's brilliant. It's really, really good. So I don't mind doing a little bit on something else as well, because it's nice to be found in different places, So yeah, I don't know what the temperature is, but I'm feeling it. It's warm. And I didn't put sunblock on my arms because when I left the house it was quite cool. And now I'm thinking I wish I could take my fleece off. The joys of being ginger, honestly, it's terrible. Yeah. Hi Joanne, hi. I love the chat on this one because it's the print's big enough for me to actually see, which I'm quite liking. So I'm using Streamlabs just now. I was just saying to everyone, we've not started yet. I just came on early to make sure there wasn't any problems and things. Hi Agatha. So when it gets to, it's 12 o'clock, but when it hits the hour, can somebody let me know? Because there isn't a clock on this, I forgot. I have got my watch, but I think it's telling me it's the 1st of June, so I'm not relying on my watch at the moment because I think there's something wrong. My Fitbit. So I'm hoping it's counted my steps, but I don't think it has. But we'll see when I get home. So the picture and the sound at the moment's great. Yeah, I did a little bit of fiddling, so hopefully we should have a steady stream all the way around. Yeah, you should see the poppies. The last time I had you in here, the poppies hadn't bloomed. There was 1 or 2 just opening, but they hadn't fully opened. So yeah, I'm quite excited to show you them. Although they're a colour and the sun's shining on them, that red, sort of orangey red colour, it doesn't always come across on the screen well. But we'll definitely have a look. And I can see some of the roses the buds are beginning to open. So yeah, 4 minutes to go. Thank you. Aye. No, see, this is the bit I miss, because I liked it, you know, when you used to have your little chat before you did the tour. You know, I kind of liked that, finding out how everybody's day was going and that kind of thing. So yeah, I might start putting in the description that I'll come on early, so if you want to chat, it's there. So what else am I doing? Oh, I'm going up to Inverness on the 31st, so I'll be there for 2 nights. So I'm doing 2 Inverness tours. So if you fancy Inverness, you'll find them in if you go into my channel page, you'll see live and you'll see them there. So yeah, so if you fancy coming along to them, please feel free. Hopefully the weather's like this, because I'm going to do the Ness Islands and I really want it to be sunny for that, so that we can get all the reflections on the water and everything. Just a nice relaxing wander around. I think that'd be really good. But you know, nature does what nature does, so if we're lucky we might have sun, and if not, well, it is what it is. So yeah, trying to think what else I've been up to. That's about it really. I had that tour this morning. I've got the afternoon to myself, yay! And then I don't get a day off until next Sunday, so that's not too bad. And then I think I'm away on a 10-day tour or something. Anyway, there's stuff coming up, so I will be popping more things on, just so that you can see where I am and what I'm up to, and maybe see a place you've not been before. So I've been putting them on at 8 o'clock at night, because I thought that would be alright, but I think it might still be too early for the Americans. So what I'm going to do is leave things up. Yeah, I'm visiting the Highland cows again. I am. Pink hand waving, hello! I love that pink hand waving. I think that's brilliant. I'm such a child. It's like, oh! It was like on Beams when they used to have the love hearts. Oh, that used to drive, I loved it so much, because you could see people were enjoying, you know. I missed the love hearts. But yeah, so yeah, I'm going to do the, painting skirting boards is not a fun job. Definitely not. Yeah, so I'm going to take us to see the Highland cows again. I've put the date up. So I'm going to do the Highland cows, and then I'm going to do Bewley Priory one after the other, because they're next to each other, and I have to drive to get to them. So that's why I've got the 2 back to back like that. Just because I thought, if the weather's lovely, Bewley's going to look completely different again, because it's a lovely sort of reddy stone, and in the sunshine it's gorgeous. I think every time I've taken you it's been raining, so it'd be nice to see it differently. So yeah, so how are we doing time wise? Have we got 2 minutes to go or something? Somebody could just pop in for me. It's getting quite busy. I'm going to have to try and get my bottle of water out here. Yeah, so I'm not quite sure. Oh, see all these images, they're brilliant, aren't they? 1 minute to go, okay, and then I'll get started. To be honest, this tour, at this time of day, the tours are never really busy, because it's a really awkward time for everyone. But I had finished that tour and I wanted to show you the Physic Garden, because all the flowers are coming into bloom and it's really beginning to look really special. So I thought, yeah, we'll do it, have another practice, 7 a.m, see, that's too early, Ottawa, so that's Canada, is it? Yeah. Finally made a live stream, Kim. Yes! Thank God, at last. Oh, honestly, it's 12 now. Okie dokie. Right, I don't think we're going to get that many people anyway. So, right, I'll get started. Hello, my name is Sam Thompson. I'm an Edinburgh tour guide, and I've been a tour guide for 23 years. And today we're going to have a little look around the Physic Garden at the Palace of Holyroodhouse. So if you like my tours, remember to subscribe and to like, and maybe pop a comment in. Right, you've had enough of my face, so I'm going to turn you around, getting a much better view. Look at this, isn't this gorgeous? The sun is out. That was me just tweaking on my cable there. Now, the last time I had you in the garden, we looked at these flowers and there was only one of them actually open. And there's a bee doing its thing. Now, the Physic Garden where we are, as you can hear, there's traffic. We're right at the bottom of the Royal Mile. And this originally land was owned by the Palace of Holyroodhouse. Today this is a public garden. It's been opened up to allow people in, groups, children, even adults can come in and learn about how important medicinal plants were to us, and still how important they are. So it's quite a lovely open space, and if you notice, all the beds are elevated so that if you're in a wheelchair you can still appreciate the plants. They're at a level where you can, smell them and things, so that's quite nice. Now I'm going to take us back in time. There was an abbey here first, and we might see the abbey in a little minute once we walk down a bit, and the planting here is to remind us of that as well, that the monks, the canon grew good quality plants so that they could make herbal remedies for the people of Edinburgh and the Canongate, which was a separate town at the time. So part of this garden is laid out as a 15th century sort of meadow type area where they would grow plants in that. It's not fully up yet, it's a wee bit early in the season, but I'll let you have a little look at it. Hi Anna. So it's what we've got here is medicinal plants. We have got most of it's medicinal, but there's certain things you can use for cooking and dyeing and things as well. But yeah, so if we fast forward to the 1670s, there was two doctors, a Dr. Sibbald and a Dr. Balfour, and they were cousins I think actually, they wanted to grow good quality medicinal herbs for their medicine. So they actually rented a little parcel of land at the palace, so a tiny wee piece of land like this, and they employed a gardener to maintain the garden and grow plants for them. Now a lot of the doctors in Edinburgh ended up subscribing to and paying money for the maintenance of the garden as well, so that they could also benefit from the plants. And so yeah, it kind of grew to the point where they had to move the garden to a larger space, which was today platform 11 of the Waverley train station in Edinburgh. They are absolutely gorgeous. I'm just going slowly, and I'm hoping if the image gets blurry or anything, let me know, but I'm really hoping I've got it sorted now that it should be okay. So yeah, so once it moved from Waverley train station, because it outgrew the space there, it moved to the top of Leith Walk, and then its final move was to a place called Inverleith. And when it moved to Inverleith, where it still is today, it became the Royal Botanic Garden of Edinburgh. So we've got the Botanic Gardens now, they started here. Sorry, I'm just having a little, oh that smells lovely. It's either, I just had a little whiff of this plant. What is it? It's a mint, I think, a lemony mint. Look at these iris, these are iris I think, are they? They're huge. Beautiful colour though. So yeah, so this is where the Botanic Garden started, which is amazing to think. I mean, up until the beginning of the 1500s, this was like a monastic site. But then James IV, who married Margaret Tudor, he actually built onto the first sort of palace type thing here, and then it kind of grew from there. See, these flowers are gorgeous. So yeah, and you've got these splayed fruit trees just here. So we've got pears and apples. So yeah, so the palace was built in the 1500s, and then monarchs started to stay here. So there was gardens, there was hunting, there was hawking. Mary Queen of Scots apparently had wild boar brought in from France so they could hunt the boar. So yeah, so this was all about pleasure really. There was royal or real tennis courts, which was a very popular sport at the time. So Falkland Palace, I'm going to take you there and do the garden at some point. Falkland Palace still has a royal or a real tennis court, which I think is the oldest one in the UK. But yeah, so look at the size of these poppies. And then we've got Ladies' Mantle just underneath it. You've got these massive poppies. They're huge. So yeah, so we're quite lucky that this has been reintroduced. This opened in 2020, but you know, we had COVID and everything going on, so it was all a bit of a it wasn't really well known at the point. But now we've got all these lovely bees doing all their business. Now it's more established, you know, the plants are bigger, so it really is, it's a really relaxing place. I know there's the sound of traffic and things, but it still is wonderful. And here we've got like a globe artichoke. I think this is a globe artichoke just here. You know, it's a massive plant for a tiny little yield. Yeah, the poppies are great. They are really, really pretty. It's just, they look so delicate when they're blowing in the wind like that, you know. But yeah, so we've got globe artichokes, we've got, I think that's fennel there, let me see. Yeah, I think this is this fennel? So yeah, I've forgotten where I was now. Anyway, so yeah, so this ground has been used for a long, long time. But then the uses get forgotten, you know, trends move on. And so it's really nice, because before they opened this up as a public garden, it was just plain grass, it was a lawn. So yeah, this is a huge improvement, and it's great that, you know, it's there for the children to learn about plants. You know, I love that bench over there. Just, it's so nice and relaxing. You could almost, if you couldn't hear the traffic, you could be anywhere sitting on that bench. Right, I'm just going to bring you up and over, because there's a little baby just come into view and I don't want to pop her on camera. So here we are on the other side. And I'll take you down into the meadow, and then we'll come back up into the garden in a second. Now, I can hear the birds cheeping, but I don't think you'll hear them over the noise of the traffic. So what we have here is we're going into the sort of 15th century meadow. So this is to remind us of how it would have looked when the monks were growing, or the canon were growing plants to make medicines and things. It is quite low. It will get a lot higher once a month on. This will be kind of well past the knee and almost at the hip height. And they mow the grass in the middle here just to make an obvious little path to get through. But at the moment we've got lots of buttercups and things. Now, straight ahead of us, that little building you're seeing, that's known as Queen Mary's bathhouse. It's said that Mary, Queen of Scots, bathed twice a year in either white wine or ass's milk. Now, apparently her cousin Elizabeth only bathed once a year, whether she needed it or not. Well, what a thought. A lot of people, bathing was, you know, considered quite dangerous, I suppose. So the gimbal is really being very, very sensitive today. Anyway, so yeah. Now, it's probably been like a little private pavilion, a little private space for the Queen to come and get out of the limelight, just relax, maybe have a rest, or just maybe have a meal or something in a little private spot, rather than having to do everything in front of the royal court. So yeah, and I think it's maybe got something living inside, the way that door's all gnawed away at the bottom there. So yeah, not one that I'd want to have a quick look inside. Now, here we've got the geometric planting. Now, in the spring this was absolutely gorgeous, because it was all tulips, daffodils, all that kind of thing. It is a little difficult to see. I'm going to lift you up and you might be able to see there's actually walkways through it, and that's the geometric beds. So there was actually paths and things that went through this. But now it's kind of well overgrown. And here's one of the walls. So there was a walled enclosure here as we come up. Right. I know, there's the thought of it. Fingertips and faces is kind of the standard washing. Yeah, bathing's quite dangerous, you've got to be careful. Oh, when we think about back then and when you think about today, people having 2 or 3 showers a day, it's just anyway, we would never survive if we were popped back in time. Now I'm just going to go over this little bridge here, but from here you can just kind of see over the wall there through the fence. That's where the palace is, and on the left we can't quite see it because the trees and everything are in the way, but that's where the abbey is. So the abbey and the palace are right next to each other. And the gardens in the palace are fantastic. When you go into the palace, in the summer you're allowed to go around the gardens, and they've got sundials and all sorts of little gems in there. They're actually quite pretty as well. But I'm just going to turn us around and take us back in. Oopsie daisy, so there, I'll just get us around here. It's a cute wee bridge. So I'm going to take you up to the back here and through the building. Now hopefully the signal will stay with us, because I just want to show you exactly where we are, just to make sure anybody that hasn't been here before knows where it is. It's such a lovely garden. And I have chive envy. Their chives are amazing. I keep trying to grow chives, it never works. One of my children loves them, so she just eats them before they get established. Right, so these are the sanctuary buildings. We're looking at the back of them right now, and we're just going to head through this tunnel. Stay with me. If it goes off, it will come back on once I get to the other side. When you walk through things like this, if you're tall, remember to duck your head, because it's actually quite low. Right, hopefully it'll come back. I'm just going to stand still for 5 minutes. Oh look, there's a cyclist tour, a bike tour, and they've stopped the traffic to get them round. Braver than me, and they're all taking their time and not paying attention to the guide. What a wee shame. You see them frantically waving there. Right. Oh wow, braver than me. So where we are, you've got the Scottish Parliament. Estimated cost to build £40 million. Actual cost to build £424 million. You used to eat your mum's spring onions. Well, funnily enough, my dad used to grow spring onions, and they weren't safe around me either. Must be a kid thing, eh? So yeah, so that's the Scottish Parliament, and I'm just going to bring you around and show you. This is the bottom end of the Royal Mile. So at the very top is where Edinburgh Castle is. Now as we look down here, you can see on the ground there are brass S's. So there's a brass S here. This marks the line of the sanctuary. Up until 1880 you could still go to prison for debt. So if you made it to the sanctuary line, which is in the cobbles here, you were safe. You were allowed out on a Sunday to go to church, but then you had to come back in. And the sanctuary, the actual sanctuary, has never actually been repealed, although I don't think they'd let you get away with claiming sanctuary here now anymore. But anyway, so yeah, so we're looking at Salisbury Crags in the distance there. That's a dolerite intrusion. I'm just going to move because it's chaos here, so I'll move over here a little bit. It's all gone a bit crazy. Oh no, someone's got a flat tyre, that's what the noise is. Right, I'm just going to take us down. We'll have a look at the front of the palace so you can kind of get the idea of where we are. So yeah, very, very busy. I do love a spring onion, I've got to admit. Yeah. Right, so I'm not really going to get to the gate because, as you can see, there's lots of people hovering, but sorry, the gimbal is, I'm going to have to play with the settings again because it's oversensitive when I'm moving. So you have the square tower at the back there, that's the Abbey, and then the part of the palace with the turrets, that's the palace, the oldest part, so that's where Mary Queen of Scots had her royal apartments. And then if you just turn around here, because a lot of people miss it, we've got this lovely cipher for James V. Right, I don't know what's going on with the gimbal, but it's doing whatever it fancies. You can see the unicorn, which is the armorial bearer in Scotland. You can see the lion rampant, the flag of the Kings of Scotland, and underneath it says IR5, James Rex 5. So the trouble with Edinburgh is you've got to remember to look up. There's so much above your head that is so easy to miss. But anyway, now we've just really walked around in a little circle because this is the way. I have no idea. I don't think it's a holiday, but it could be. But the kids aren't off school here, so I don't think it's a holiday. So anyway, so yeah, so I just wanted to let you see my favourite garden at the moment. I love the Physic Garden, and I just love the way that, sorry, there's a fire engine, police car, whatever it is, ambulance. So there's the wee bridge we went over. You can see Queen Mary's bathhouse, and then that's us back into the Physic Garden over this little bridge. So absolutely, it's a tiny space really, but it's got an awful lot of history to it. I know the gimbal has been very, very naughty. So anyway, it wasn't a long tour. I just wanted to let you have a little look at the garden and enjoy it with me. It's amazing to think that this is where the Botanic Garden started. It just blows my mind. Right, I suppose I'd better let you go. Yeah, let's have a quick look at these just before we go. Nature's amazing, isn't it? Just the way you can see right inside that flower. That just, and it's not, the thing is, because it's not windy, we're actually getting really good views of the flowers, because normally they're moving and it can sometimes cause a bit of an issue. Look at the size. This is what I mean, I've got chive envy. Look at the size of them. They're huge. Yeah. And what did you find out about Sam today? She has chive envy. Anyway, right, I'm going to turn you around just so I can say goodbye. Right, I will check this when I get home and see what the signal and everything was like. I think I've worked it out now, so hopefully we'll be good to go with all the tours I've got set up, and I will be putting more on. If there's anything you fancy seeing, pop it in the comments or let me know somehow, and if I can do it, I will. It might be a live stream or it might be a pre-recorded. I am going to try and do as live tours again, because we used to really enjoy them. You're back to painting the skirting boards, I know, awful. So I will, if I can get that up and running again, I'll be putting them on a Monday night at 10 o'clock my time in the evening, so that should be manageable for not most of you, but quite a few of you should be able to catch it. And then that way I can take you to places that don't actually have a signal. And that's what I loved about the As Lives. I could go strange places that we couldn't normally go. So yeah, right, thank you everyone. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will hopefully see you. It's a bit out of sync. That's because it's on Streamlabs. That's the one thing people talk about, is the fact that the lip sync isn't there. So that yeah, that's why I should just turn it round the other way, so you don't have to, because that drives me insane. See, when you watch a movie and the sync is out, it just, oh. So yeah, I'll stop talking, that way you can't see my mouth move. Bye everyone. Mermaid of the North, that would be an interesting one, Anna. I'll have a look. If I ever get near it, I'll definitely do it.